Have you seen Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey?
Oh, I've seen it.
Oh, okay.
Years ago.
Do you remember?
I have not seen it recently.
Do you remember the end where it's like the Battle of the Bands? It's supposed to be like a concert.
Okay, sort of.
They filmed that at Magic Mountain.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Like where?
I don't know exactly. They said it was actually an outdoor theater, but then they covered it for the movie somehow.
Okay.
To make it look like it was indoors.
Do you have some kind of amphitheater behind Bugs Bunny Land? I think over there.
Okay.
There is something.
I mean, this was also whatever, like 1991. So I don't know.
But they could have also had other theaters that they've torn down over the years.
Just found that out.
Interesting. Welcome to another thrilling episode of Thanks for Writing.
Yeah, we got some clickbait for you today.
Yeah, is that what this is?
Pretty much,
okay.
A top 10 list.
No, this ain't no clickbait. Clickbait is like 10 minutes or less, and it's just a quick snippet and, go through each one, 1 through 10, 10 through 1. We ain't doing that. We're going to do our own version of that. It's kind of like top 10 analysis.
Okay.
We're going to come to a consensus here. On the show, right? Between ourselves. We decided to look at our individual top 10 wooden roller coasters. There was no rules here, right?
No.
I mean, we did all, existing rides. Nothing that's no longer operating.
Right.
Although that wasn't that hard. I don't know that really would have mattered.
That didn't even really occur to me when I was putting the list together. I just picked out my top 10, and they're all still operating. It just happens to be. Yeah,
it turns out that right now, every year, wood coasters are dropping the overall number almost every year. Or at least there's a couple that close every year with this whole Rocky Mountain thing going on, where they're turning them into steel roller coasters, ultimately. But none of those mattered. None of those were going to make our top 10. Yeah. So we didn't have to actually go out of our way to try to stick to that rule. Otherwise, it's just really, we looked at, we each took our top 10 and we ranked them. We did rank them.
Yeah.
10 being the bottom of that list, and then up to number 1. Our favorite wooden roller coaster out there. Again, out there today, but really out there for all time, for all the rides we've done. And so what we did was we each did our own. I did my own list. Druzer did his own list. We have not shared. So neither one of us knows what the other one has done, and we're going to try to hash this out live on the show, and we'll both be surprised and interested, and hopefully you guys will too.
Okay, so
all right,
who wants to go first?
Top 10 wooden roller coasters according to Thanks for Writing. Starting out individual lists, we'll come up with our final top 10. You go first. You started this. You do first blood, not me.
All right, my number 10 is Ravine Flyer 2 at Waldemere.
Okay.
Is that Erie, PA?
Oh, that is Erie, PA, isn't it? Great reference. Erie, PA. Yeah, the old knitters. We're the old knitters.
If anyone gets that, comment below.
Yes, and you'll win a prize.
I got to be honest here.
Uh-oh. You said it, and then now you're not sure.
Well, no, I think it's a fantastic ride from Gravity Group. It's that last little bit of the ride that's not so great, but it makes my list anyway because the first, I don't know, at least 3/4, probably more, are just that ride just hauls ass. Mm-hmm. Flies through all those little hills and turns. Goes across the road, across the highway.
Over the road at one point. That's kind of neat.
It really is a flyer. It really does fly by. Yeah, it's a cool ride. I'm trying to think of other words besides, it's awesome, because I could say that about every ride on my list. I'm trying to expand a little bit beyond that.
It's
a fast. Yeah, it's a tiny little thing.
fast
It's not a
and
big
intense.
ride. Yes, it's pretty intense.
For most of the course.
Right. It's just that last little stretch where all of a sudden it loses a lot of its speed and it kind of crawls to a finish, which is a shame. That's kind of why it's at number 10 for me. It's not 100% all the way through. It actually peters out at the very end.
You're saying 3/4, if not more, was awesome. At least it's been a few years now. At least in my mind, I kind of thought it was like maybe only 2/3.
2/3,
and then it kind of petered out. And I remember it being a real noticeable. I know we did it a bunch of times when we were there, but and after we got used to it, every time we got to that point where it would slow down a lot, and we were just kind of like, oh.
Yeah, there's one very specific exact point where it slows.
Yeah, it just takes the wind out of your sails.
Yeah.
And it's so awesome up until that point. Yeah, it's really unfortunate. Could have been a much better ride if they could have figured out how to end it. But it really peters out, and then it never recovers.
Yeah, this ride is not really about airtime. It's really more about speed and whipping through the course.
Yeah, which is great. It does a great job of that.
Okay, so what's your number 10?
All right, my number 10. Now, I'm going to give a quick little background here on my list. What I did when we decided we were going to do this, I went into this looking at it very currently. What I mean by that is everything on my top 10 I have ridden within the last 2 years, with one exception, actually, which we'll get to. But everything on here, otherwise, I've ridden in either 2015 or 2016.
Oh, wow.
So I didn't bother to try to pull up too much nostalgia for myself and with any particular ride, and I really wanted to just go with my gut as of right now, today, and just kind of blow through it as quick as I could, and then not think about it too much. And so in some ways I'll be analyzing it more now than I did when I wrote it, which could also be interesting.
Yeah, I guess we should bring this up. I actually wrote my list up back in August of 2016. And you did it like last night, right?
Yes, I did it January 2017. So yes, there we go. My top 10. The right list. No, sorry, just kidding. Number 10.
You asshole.
Thank you. Number 10. White Lightning.
Oh.
This was the most recent I've ridden out of all of my top 10. My most recent wood coaster credit. And that is a kick-ass little machine. Beginning to end. That one doesn't lose anything. Not the longest ride, short. That is a GCI. A very unusual GCI L-shaped out and back. Not a typical twister, which is really all they do. For this one, they actually had to conform to something else. But it's very interesting. And we've talked about it very recently on the show, actually, so I don't want to go into it too much.
Yeah, we did a whole review.
Yeah, but it's very interesting that Mike Woodley and the team there, they definitely tried to twist it as much as they could and not have it be a typical out and back. So it kind of twists around whenever it can. And it's just a great ride. Awesome stuff. And I guess as of right now, it's one of my top 10. It got me. It really got me. So much so that on my sort of impromptu second swing through Florida back in fall of 2016, that has been talked about on the show, actually did go back outside of Disney to Fun Spot, Orlando, and did this ride again. Because I really liked it that much. Top 10, but very bottom of top 10. Number 10 for me.
Well, number 9 for me is White Lightning.
Oh, perfect segue.
So, yeah, right. I really don't have anything else to say about it. We did a whole review on another show.
Yeah, so pull that up if you want. So then we should go into my number 9?
Yeah, what's your number 9?
Number 9. 9 times. 9 times. All right. If you get that, write us. You win a prize. Number 9. Boulder Dash.
Oh, interesting.
Famous, if not infamous, I don't know. It's so famous, it's infamous. Wow. Old movie references are flying out today.
Yeah.
Boulder Dash of Lake Compounce, Bristol, Connecticut.
I'm surprised it's this low on your list.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. It is a great ride, but, we probably have mentioned this on the show. Maybe not in a long time. Anyway, it kind of needs the cover of night to bring its full potential out. So you almost could argue that it doesn't belong on top 10 at all, but it's so great at night that it still makes it for me, although at number 9, so it's fairly low, because daytime rides on that are a real mixed bag. Like, it can be good, but at least half the time it's not. But it is a great ride. It's really cool, built into the mountain. It's been covered for years since it's been built. It's a classic CCI, arguably one of, if not their best ever creation for the short lifespan that company had. Custom Coasters International. And it is great, and it is one of, if not the greatest night ride ever.
Yeah,
probably the greatest wooden coaster night ride for sure.
It's got to be.
There might be a steel here or there that might beat it for overall best night ride, but I'm not going to think about that right now. But Boulder Dash, I think, definitely best wood coaster night ride you're ever going to get. There's zero light, and if you get it on a night when there's little to no moon too, oh my goodness. You cannot see shit.
Yeah.
You can't see any, and you ride in the back too, so you're behind everybody. You can't see anything. You are talk about just being taken for a ride. You have no choice but to just hang on, and you are whipped around, and you're just taken for a ride. That's it. You have no choice but to take it. Sit and take it. And it's incredible. It doesn't lose an ounce of speed through the entire course.
No.
It's just, what a ride.
It's a long course too. That's not a short ride at all.
Yeah, it's a long ride, decent length. There's some airtime moments toward the end, mostly, but the majority of it is just whipping through a course fast. It is awesome.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that there's like an asterisk on it, but
like has to be at night, kind of.
Yeah.
But when it is night, nothing's better. So Boulder Dash is my number 9.
Okay.
And that is that's a perennial. That's been considered a great top 10 wood coaster just about since it's opened.
Oh, yes.
And it still kind of is. It's still celebrated in the community.
Okay. Number 8 for me is Cornball Express.
Okay. Sticking with CCI.
Yeah, another CCI at Indiana Beach. It's an interesting coaster in that they had to squeeze it in a tiny, awkward footprint because the park is very small and it's
tiny,
right on the water.
Yeah.
And they had to find a way to stick it in between other coasters that they had there and other various rides and the water. And it goes over walkways and brushes up right next to other rides and stuff. It's a really neat experience, but it's got a really awesome layout. It's got a lot of airtime. It whips through the course pretty quickly too. It doesn't really lose any speed.
Oh no.
It's just great from start to finish. And you get nice views of the water of that little lake there, Lake Schaefer, I think it was called, and some other rides. It's great. It's a great little ride. It's not a big ride. It's pretty modest in size. It's medium sized. It kicks a lot of ass though. And
one of the later, if not last, CCIs, right?
Yeah,
you figured that out.
It was one of the last ones. I think it was like maybe like the second to last thing they did or something.
All right, I like that ride a lot too.
Okay.
But I guess more on that to come. My number 8, Phoenix. The very well-covered Phoenix of Knoebels in Pennsylvania. This one also always comes up in everyone's list. It's as being a great wood coaster. I'm sure it's a lot of people's favorite. It's really awesome at what it does. And what it does is produce airtime. This is the most magical airtime producing machine maybe that's ever been created, at least that we've been able to ride. Stuff that came and was probably demolished before we were ever born, who knows. But as of today, there is so much airtime on this thing. Every drop gets you. It's very straightforward. It's just like a double or triple out and back, kind of keeps winding around itself. But it's always, Knoebels is just a magical place in many ways. That it's just the way it is able to operate in such an old-fashioned way, today, the 21st century. And again, we've covered that so many times on the show, because that ride is always so well greased up, and it just rides so quick and smooth. Every drop gets you. There's that awesome double up to double down moment in the middle. There are parts when you'll be standing up on that thing. It's pure magic. It's pure heaven. It's pure. If you're an airtime enthusiast more than anything, that is your heaven. And I guess maybe I'm tipping my hand already. That I guess that's not all I value, because that would probably be my number one, or much higher if that was the only thing I really valued. And it's not for me personally. So Phoenix comes for me at number 8.
Number 7 on my list is Goliath at Six Flags Great America.
Oh, okay. This could be our first slightly controversial one.
It's a wooden coaster.
Depending on who you talk to. I'm just bringing it up. Just playing devil's advocate. I agree with you.
Okay.
I mean, I think there's no other way to look at it.
No, it's wood track.
Yeah, there's no other way to look at it. What are you going to do? You may not like it. I think it's the thing. I think a lot of people don't like it. But, what are you going to do?
Yeah, it's wood.
It's the 21st century. They were able to make a wood track, but get it to do certain things that you used to not be able to get it to do.
Right.
But you can't fight it. I don't think. It's silly.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, but anyway, I'm sorry.
So this is Rocky Mountain, and geez, the twists and turns and angles on this thing are totally crazy. I know we've talked about it before. We gave a whole review on it on an episode about Great America. This one has inversions, which is really different for a wooden coaster.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we mentioned that the ride, if you just look at it, it looks like it shouldn't work.
Yeah.
It looks like a mess that should just hurt a lot.
Yeah.
But it's really incredible. It's smooth as glass. The inversions are really awesome. It's a very interesting, very cool ride. The only problem I have with it is that it's too short. It should be really, ideally, it should be like twice as long. But even if they had just one extra little bit, would have helped that out a lot. But as it is, I think it's such a fantastic ride. It's really whacked out.
Okay.
So what are we up to? Your number 7.
My number 7. Lucky number 7. Here's where I have Cornball Express. So we just talked about it. I feel the same way. We both loved it. We couldn't get enough of it. At one point, we were supposed to be getting on the road, and we kept going back on. We squeezed in 1 or 2 more rides on it because we were having so much fun with it.
Yeah, and you gave me the old, come on, we're never coming back here.
Or like what, once more in our lives, and this ride might be gone by then, or something, one of those kind of things.
Yeah.
Which is sadly probably true. What a ride. I don't know what else I could say about it that you didn't say, and we also didn't cover before on other episodes. The first drop, just from the very first drop, it's so steep and awesome. It's a great ride. So for me, it fell as number 7. I actually ranked it higher than Phoenix and Boulder Dash.
Interesting. Okay.
I just really thoroughly enjoyed that ride. It just got me in a slightly different way. Maybe part of it even being the fact that it's a layout that's harder to figure out, and it's a little more surprising again each time you ride it.
Yeah.
Versus Phoenix and Boulder Dash to an extent. Boulder Dash, especially with the night rides, you can't see every little change coming. You gotta pull to the left a little bit, then pull to the right, and then dip a little bit. But those are the slight changes. But the overall idea of what you're going to do, once you've done it a couple of times, you get that. You're just going out and back.
Right.
Really. Whereas this, I just felt like I just couldn't remember what was going to happen. And then you have the crossover moment with another ride, or then that almost kind of collision, fake out kind of thing. And then stuff like that would be happening. And I don't know. That just, for me, that delighted me more. So I ranked it a little bit higher.
All right. Number 6 for me is Phoenix.
All right.
At Knoebels. The only other thing I want to say is that you haven't said is I think this ride is the best of its class. It's the best traditional, drops and fan turns coaster.
Okay.
It does that the best. Does it better than Cyclone? the Coney Island Cyclone. Does it better than any of the Cyclone ripoffs.
Okay.
It's the best of its kind. By far, too. I don't think anyone really even comes that close to it.
Yeah, I'll give it that. Yeah, even the much heralded Coney Island Cyclone.
Oh, yeah, I'll take Phoenix any day over that.
We're very much in agreement that ride is overrated.
Oh, yeah. It's not terrible, but it's not really, it's not great.
No, I think if anything, I guess we're tipping our hand. That's not going to be on anyone's top 5 to come. But if anything, that ride, best part about it is that it uses the old traditional trains.
Okay.
I think maybe the only place you could, at least in this country, you could still do that today.
Okay.
And that's a neat experience. But yeah, the actual course,
Right.
it's all right, but for as close as we live to it, neither one of us goes back that often.
No, I haven't ridden that thing in a couple of years.
Especially at $12 a pop.
Oh, it's so expensive, too.
$12 a ride now? It's ridiculous. And okay, now that you brought that point up, interesting. I guess I agree. It just came in lower for me because even at number 8, my 7 through 1, I don't have any other traditional drops and fan turns rides. So yeah, I agree. So what are we up to? 6?
Yep.
For me, this is where I have Goliath.
All right.
Of Six Flags Great America in Gurnee, Illinois, outside Chicago.
Gurnee.
Oh, is it Gurnee? I'm sorry. Gurnee. You're so stupid. It's Gurnee.
Give me some of that Gurnee shit.
Yeah, there you go. This is pure Gurnee shit, this ride. Very unique. Again, I can't say much more than you did. It's got the angles. It works somehow. That, whatever it's called, that stall inversion, that whatever the hell, it's the arch, riding upside down on an arch.
Yeah.
Inversion.
That's incredible.
Just incredible. An incredible inversion, I think, for anything, wood or steel.
Yeah.
The fact that it's on a wooden ride makes it even more incredible. Like they pulled it off. That ride is one of those, like, holy shit, they pulled it off. They made this work. Doesn't ride like wood at all, though. I will say that. And, all right, interesting. For both of us, it came in the bottom half of the top 10.
Yeah.
It is great. I think one of the major reasons, though, is the length. And that it's kind of too short, doesn't give you enough. You're left really wanting more, but kind of in a bad way. Like, you feel almost a little gypped, especially if you wait a bit for it. And then you're kind of like, that should be a bit longer.
Yeah, the ride is not the easiest to get on.
Yeah, well, none of the Rocky Mountains really are.
Oh,
They had kind of a bad start. It's been a little rough. It's been a rocky road, you might say.
Oh.
For old Rocky Mountain construction. But anyway, yeah, so Goliath number 6 for me. I actually ranked it a little bit higher. All right, ready to crack into that top 5?
Number 5 for me is Boulder Dash.
Okay.
So we already talked about it. Nothing else to say there. So we'll move on.
Other than the fact that it's a lot higher for you.
Yeah, I guess the fact that it really needs night to bring it to number 5 for me is troubling. I don't know if that's the right word.
Well,
maybe it's kind of not fair to the some of the coasters that I ranked below it, where they're good any time. But that nighttime ride, I guess I just really valued it. I put it at number 5.
I mean, I can see it. It's a great ride, and maybe it's like a coin flip outside of night. All right. So that might be the first of the biggest disparities between our respective lists here. All right, my number 5. All right, we're gonna have a new entrant now, not another repeat where you already said it. My number 5, Shivering Timbers, and we did a full review on it already. But this was such a long time coming for us to finally get on it, and it was so satisfying. It was so kind of worth the wait. I really wasn't sure. I wasn't expecting a ton, but man, when we finally got it, I was so pleased with the results. So this is CCI Michigan's Adventure in Muskegon, Michigan. Such a cool idea, doing the out and back, but like the modern out and back style of just single line. just a long, thin layout with a helix at one end, but not the turnaround end, the station end, the actual very end of the ride. And it is incredible. This ride is the personification of an abundance of airtime. It is all airtime, all speed, all the time. I had so much fun. This was one of those where I could not help but to just laugh and have such an awesome time every time we rode it. It is awesome. It is a top 5 for me. It actually cracked my top 5 ultimately, even though it took me so long to get it. Shivering Timbers, I just love it.
Yeah.
It's a great ride, and it's one of those where we're going to have to go back there, if only because of this ride.
Yeah, it's that good.
It's that damn good. It's awesome. My number 5.
Okay. Number 4 for me, Shivering Timbers.
Okay. Wow. All right. So we ranked it close.
I really don't have anything to add. The only thing I want to bring up is it seems that for the 2017 season, they took out that trick track element.
Did they finally? So we just got it the last year.
We did get to ride it in its original form, which is interesting.
They just took it out, huh?
Yeah. Which is fine. It's no loss.
It's the least exciting thing about it.
Yeah. So that shouldn't really change anything, I don't think.
No. If you didn't know, and I'm sure like a lot of riders today don't know, it was very well covered back in the late 90s when the ride opened and on the Travel Channel or Discovery Channel specials, the trick track thing. But now if you didn't know, you'd think it was just an imperfection in the track. Anyway,
yeah, maybe, yeah.
So actually really just getting rid of it might not be a bad move.
Okay. Number 4 for Be Cool.
Okay. Let me get some of that Thunderhead. Thunderhead, Dollywood in Dollieswood, Tennessee. What is it called? Pigeon Forge.
Dolly Forge. Oh, yeah.
Yes, Pigeon may or may not still exist after the wildfires. Forge. Pigeons. Forge. So there you go, Thunderhead. This is a GCI, Great Coasters International. I guess it's the second of those, right? Because I already had White Lightning earlier. Second GCI on my list. This is an example of, kind of like we said with Phoenix, or like you brought up, of a ride being the best in its class. GCI tends to, again, White Lightning actually was a outlier, as I mentioned, but they have tended to kind of done the same thing over and over again. And the rides are not the same. They all have their own twists and turns, quite literally. Maybe they twist left or right in different spots, basically. But they all kind of do the same thing. They're all kind of the same ride. But at least in my opinion, Thunderhead does it the best. That's like the single best example of what GCI does, which, their usual, most commonly seen kind of style and layout. It's just incredible. It's beginning to end. It's a long ass ride, and beginning to end never loses its speed. It's a mess of track. You can't figure it out. Even just looking at it while you're waiting, you can't figure it out. You get on it, and you're just taken for a ride. And this one, is consistently great, whether it's day or night. And it's hard to get it at night. Dollywood doesn't do too many nights.
Yeah.
They only do a handful every summer. But it doesn't matter. Even in daytime, in full daylight, this ride, it hauls ass. I've never had a bad ride on it. It delivers. I love it. So it's very high for me. Number 4. One of my all-time favorites. Okay, we're getting up high now. The top 3 now.
Number 3 for me is Apocalypse.
Oh!
Six Flags Magic Mountain. It's a GCI. It's a twister. This their usual thing, but it's a very good version of their usual thing that they do with all these twists and turns. Really no air. It just it whips through the course very quickly, and not a huge ride. Another medium size, but packs a big punch. I don't know
that it does.
It's, I guess, very impressive for its size. I'll say it kind of doesn't look like much. I think there's no mid-course brake run.
I agree. It's small. It's a smaller scale ride, but it hangs in there with the big boys.
It does. At least for me, it does. Yeah, it delivers. And actually, I'm kind of glad that they took out all those. I think there were 2 pre-shows when there was Terminator.
I believe there was 2.
Yeah, I'm glad they wiped that out. So now it's just a straight regular line wait.
That's pre-shows on coasters.
And yeah, the onboard audio, you don't need it. It's fine.
Yeah.
Or the fire from that one car.
Yeah,
it's like you don't need any of that shit. It's the ride is really fantastic by itself.
Yeah, interestingly enough, that this ride didn't need the all the trappings of a movie theme and effects.
It didn't need anything to help it out.
It stands on its own. So we'll just keep on with that conversation. My number 3 is Apocalypse the Ride.
Oh wow! So this is the first time we've actually hooked up with
the
same one.
Same ride in the same position.
Very interesting. Okay.
And now you might say, well, wait a minute. Didn't you just say Thunderhead? This is also GCI. Apocalypse is. Didn't you just say Thunderhead was the best of what they do? But
hey, didn't you just say Thunderhead was the best at what they do?
Yeah, I did say that. Because in at least in sort of the way I'm looking at it, in my opinion, Apocalypse is a little different in that it is smaller in scope. It's smaller and shorter, even more compact, and it really rides. For me, it really kind of rides more like Avalanche and Wisconsin Dells. Like the S&S and the Gravity Group, those few smaller ones they've done. Hellcat, the ride now called Hellcat, that's had like 8 names. In Clementon Park in New Jersey. But it's like better than those. It's like the best of those.
It's interesting that you put it in with those.
I kind of do. I kind of feel like this one is this strange outlier, another sort of outlier for GCI.
Okay.
And this one worked a lot better than even White Lightning. White Lightning is a lot of fun. This is actually all out, kind of balls to the wall thrills. Really, I think this ride just really has it.
Yeah,
This is a balls out ride. and it almost does make me rank it higher because it is smaller, and it somehow does it while still being modest in size, and that is not always easy to do. Generally, even like my favorite steel rides, roller coasters, they are kind of the huge ones.
They are.
They
are for me. Anyway.
You have to kind of take you up pretty high to start to really give you all that speed and momentum to really make it that awesome ride. And this does it without having to do that. It's only like a little over 100 feet, I think, the lift or so. And
I think it's actually a little under 100.
It's a shy of 100-foot drop, the first drop.
Yeah, I think it's only like 80 feet or something.
Just even the lift?
I want to say
95, yeah, 95-foot lift with the 87-foot drop. So not even the lift doesn't go up 100 feet.
It's not even as high as Batman the Ride, technically, right?
No,
which is really weird to think about.
And yet it is just incredible. So my third GCI on the list, and overall my favorite, which I don't know, maybe that even kind of surprised me a little bit, because it's just a little more fun and thrilling than even Thunderhead.
Oh, okay.
But I do love Thunderhead. And I still feel that's the best example of traditionally or classically what GCI does. Okay, you're up to number 2.
Number 2. Thunderhead.
Oh, wow, okay.
For me, this is the best wooden twister coaster out there. The layout is impossible to memorize.
Okay.
Even when we do it, whatever, like 5 times in a day, it's like, I have no idea what's coming up next.
Yeah.
Apocalypse was kind of the same way. Not quite as much, but it's still kind of confusing, I think.
Well, there's not as much of it.
Yeah, I guess maybe that's what it is. But Thunderhead is just a really incredible ride.
My number 2. And this one is very heavily based on recent rides. But my number 2 wood coaster, at least as of right now, Twister at Knoebels. And if any real traditional members of the roller coaster community actually listen to us, and I doubt they do, that I know that would be like a shock. That'd floor a lot of people. That ride does not get a lot of play or a lot of respect, or it just kind of opened and that was it, and it never really got anything.
Yeah, even when it did first open, you're right.
Yeah. So I guess then, just by that statement or the fact that that's the way it is, for me, this is maybe one of the most underrated roller coasters, I think. Certainly wooden coasters out there, but maybe the most underrated, where I don't necessarily get it, why no one cares for it, generally.
Yeah. Well, it took a while for me to come around on this one.
Okay.
Because the first couple of visits to Knoebels, I thought the ride was whatever.
Did it take like riding it with me? Did I sort of...
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if it was necessarily with you. I think maybe it was just, I finally turned the right age and rode enough other rides to give it the respect that it deserves, I guess.
Okay. Fair enough. But I love this ride. I think it's awesome. I think this is the very best wood twister.
Okay. All right.
It's very unique. From the stacked lift hill, the fact that the lift is actually in two parts, stacked on top of each other.
Yeah, it's not only two parts, they're on top of each other.
Yeah. And this apparently due to the real constricting space they had to work with here. And just the fact that even the transition between the two parts of the lift, like, packs a little punch. It's like every foot of this thing has some thrill factor to it. They didn't waste any inch.
Yeah.
I feel there's no wasted opportunity here. It's all action. And the same thing. And then after the second part of the lift, before you drop into what really is the ride proper, again, it still packs a punch. It's such a great turnaround. That is a kick-ass ride. It's great anytime. It's great in the daytime, but it is sort of a magic night ride.
Yeah, it is. It's that later section. It's like the end of the ride.
Oh, yeah.
Where it gets to be like pitch black, pretty much. You can't really see anything.
Very dark. There's a late ride tunnel that certainly doesn't hurt. It's a great little feature. Oh, man. Twister is burning. Just the smell in the air because you're near the campsites on that side of the park. It's just something else. You just gotta be there to experience that.
Yeah.
It's so unique.
You smell the wood burning. You smell like campfire.
Yeah, and it always smells like the ride itself is like, it's so awesome, it's on fire.
Yeah.
As if the train's whipping around the course, you're just like igniting the wood. Because it'll be a little smoky sometimes too, even in the air.
Yes.
Depending on the night.
Actual smoke. Haze, yeah. It's great.
Great length. So many great twists and turns. And then it's got a really awesome double helix around the station. That's kind of the centerpiece of the ride, in the middle of it. And
yeah, when you say around the station, it's like
literally,
it's like at an angle. It's like at a 45-degree angle, kind of, right?
So, yeah.
Where it's like wrapping around the station in this weird angle loop. It's very interesting.
It's a very long double helix, and built entirely with the stations in the center of it. I guess that the closest other version of that is the Beast, but this one is superior to that.
Yeah,
to me, I'd rather ride it on this ride. Also, it's just, and this is just something about Knoebels, because this park knows their wood, and they know how to maintain them. I mean, Knoebels built this ride. This was, I guess, we've been giving manufacturers out as we go. This was sort of an in-house Knoebels project.
Yeah, it was supposed to be somewhat based on the plans of, was it Mr. Twister?
Mr. Twister.
Village Gardens, I think it was.
Yes.
Colorado. But really, it's not the same ride. It's, they had to modify it to fit within their park.
Yeah, within the footprint they had. This was John Fetterman? Is that the guy?
Mr. Futterman?
What? Yes. Designed by John Fetterman, who I think was just like the head of maintenance or whatever at the park at the time.
That's great. That is really great.
And it's incredible that they did it. They made this work, and they made, at least in my opinion, the best wood twister out there. And it's just called Twister. Simple, straight to the point. I love this ride. I can't get enough of it. I never get bored of it anytime I go there. And I almost always end on it.
Oh, really?
At that park. Okay. It is just, I do like it better than Phoenix. As now you can see, it entered in my list quite a bit higher. Twister at Knoebels. That is a quality ride. So anyway, I'll give it some props. I'll be the first one to do it.
Okay.
No one else will. All right. So now we're into the tops.
Yeah. Well, do you want to do honorable mentions before we do number one?
Okay, we can do that way. Sure.
Delay this number one spot as long as possible.
Okay, milk this shit for all it's worth.
Funny enough, for me, Twister at Knoebels is an honorable mention.
Okay.
It didn't make my list. I do like it. It's a very good ride, but didn't make my list.
All right. Well, then I'll start with one that was on your list that didn't make mine. Ravine Flyer 2.
Okay.
For me, that's just honorable mention. Again, I kind of like loses it after 2/3, and I just can't get over that. Not top 10. Because I don't think, besides Goliath at Great America being short, none of these have that problem. Nothing on my list has that problem. I'd rather not have the ride at all. Like, just end it abruptly, and then at least I can't judge it one way or the other. But having more track and having it kind of blow, not top 10 for me. There's too many other great rides out there. So that killed it for me.
That's like Manta. It's like, would you rather have just...
Manta? You mean
I'm sorry.
The new Out and Back
that's like
Nitro?
That's like Mako. It's like, would you rather just have first half of Mako and just end it right there?
Yeah.
Or have it in the form that it's in now, where the second half or the last third is just garbage.
I might rank it higher if it just ended.
Yeah.
Well, maybe one day we'll do that.
All right.
Hypers.
I feel like I have to mention this.
Uh-oh.
The Beast, Kings Island.
Okay.
Yeah, not top 10 material for me. It's just there's too much downtime on that ride.
Yeah.
It's like it's long just for the sake of being long. But the way it starts with the drop into the tunnel, and then the way it ends with that massive, very intense helix.
Yeah.
Those two sections are really very, very good. But it's everything else in the middle that's just not very good.
It's long.
So yeah, it's like, yeah, that's what you can say. It's long. But I have to give it an honorable mention because the beginning and the end are really that good. It kind of demands respect, this ride.
Yeah, well, I think if only because of the length, too. Because of that, it is something. Even today, it's still...
Right.
It's still something. It's still a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Even if it's not your favorite ride, I still feel like you kind of have to respect it to a certain degree.
Oh, yeah. Respect is a perfect word for that ride. And we do respect it, and we always do it at least twice.
Oh, yeah.
Every time we go to that park. Sometimes even give it a third if we have time. Because it is something of a spectacle. It is a great ride. So, yeah, that's on my honorable mention list as well, actually. So I'll just concur with you on that.
All right.
And, yeah, that double helix, that one, we mentioned it when I was talking about Twister, but the Beast one, though, is larger. It's also rougher, though, and kind of crazier in a way. You feel like you're going to die. When you hit the low point both times, you go around twice,
yeah.
You do feel like you're going to fly right off that track.
Yeah. Oh, because it's... Yes. It's that kind of feeling.
Or just like your back's going to be broken or something.
Yeah.
It's something else.
It really is a beast.
It really is a beast, yeah. Okay. But then I have another...
And that was in-house, by the way, too, that ride.
Yeah, okay.
Kings Island built that themselves.
Interesting how that's happened. Okay. Ghost Rider.
Okay.
And only because... And it's not even just because it's... A lot of people have said a lot of good things about it, at least a long time ago. But also because I was blown away by it when I first did it. I mean, that was back in 2002. That was a long time ago.
Yeah.
But regardless, I also have had, now at this point, my ups and downs with this ride, where it has not ridden consistent. And I know actually it just recently is in the process of getting some kind of a major refurbishment. So it'll be almost like a different ride again, I guess, next time I get on it.
And new trains, I think.
Oh, it's going to new trains this time, too?
I think so.
For the first time in its history? Okay.
So that could really change things.
But it did blow me away enough in the beginning that, I did have to think about it. And then it did make my top 10 in the end. And it was actually probably one of the first to come off and be weeded out, really. But, I'll give it a mention. And it's funny because I don't think I'm alone in being kind of confused about it, because it seems like that's sort of how everyone is these days. And I think that's why the ride is getting these major changes now, because it is now, it's like this ride that was so great and it has fallen so far.
Right.
Almost one of the biggest, this might be one of the worst aging rides built in the last 20 years or so, where it just did not age well. It went from being considered one of the top 5 out there to where almost no one talks about it now. And now the park is trying to change that and bring it back a bit. But
Right. Yeah, when it first opened, it got a ton of press. And for many years after that, got a ton of press.
Yeah.
I have Lightning Racer.
Oh, okay.
Hershey Park as an honorable mention.
Right.
Such a fun ride.
Yeah.
The way that the two tracks interact with each other, not just racing, but also dueling. They actually did both.
Yeah.
Really, really neat. The competition factor, it really gets you pumped up. It gets me pumped up.
Yeah.
To see the
It's
other
fun.
train riding along next to you and then over you and under you and stuff. It's very, very cool.
In some ways, if we were just ranking on fun, that may be the most fun GCI.
It
That
could
might
be.
actually be more fun than Thunderhead and Apocalypse. But to me, fun does not a top 10 ride make.
Right.
But yeah, I'll give that honorable mention as well.
Yeah, maybe one of the issues with that ride is that you kind of need both tracks to make it work.
Yeah,
You know, each track by itself is not the best.
right. Great, but not the best.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a good mention. And I'll mention, and this also is very based on recent rides too. Comet at which one? Which one, you ask? At Hershey Park.
Okay.
Because at least this past summer, spring and summer actually, that ride was kicking ass. It was kicking ass and taking names. It really was. That's a great ride. That's one of those, like, if Phoenix didn't exist, that might be my favorite, at least right now, of the traditional drops and fan turns.
Oh.
I really and thoroughly enjoyed that ride.
I think for both of us, that was a long journey where we didn't like it for almost, our entire lives. And then only recently, we both really liked it.
Yeah, we got into it more recently. And that's an old one too. I guess we hadn't really been giving. We went through this whole thing. We didn't really give any opening dates. But Beast was like a '70s ride, and then Comet is I think like 46. I think 40s. Comet at Hershey Park.
Yeah, that sounds right.
So I don't know. The new generation, unfortunately, it's just too good, at least for us.
Yeah.
This is we're of that time anyway, and it's just What else you got?
Avalanche.
Oh, okay.
Timber Falls, Wisconsin.
Okay.
I originally had Avalanche in where I have White Lightning now at number 9.
Okay.
But I swapped it out because White Lightning I liked it better. And it's been a long time since I've done Avalanche. It's been a number of years. But that's a S&S Woody. It's just a small, short ride that really just goes in a circle, I think, twice. Around the outer perimeter of Timber Falls.
Yeah, like a miniature golf course, essentially,
Yeah.
with a log flume in it.
Yeah. Oh, right. They have a log from us, right.
And then you just...
And it's a short little ride. And it's all just left turns. And you think, well, how good could that be? But it's just the craziest tiny little wooden coaster you've ever ridden.
It's like the craziest... One of the crazier minute and a halves you'll have on a wood ride.
Yeah. Jesus. It does a pack a punch.
Oh, Congressional Medal of Jesus.
Yeah. In the end, I couldn't put it on my top 10 list just because it's been too many years since I've ridden it. And I couldn't compare it to, all the other rides on the list that I have ridden more recently.
Okay. I had the very similar experience. For me, that was the runner-up to White Lightning at number 10, though, for me. Either way, this was going to be like the bottom of the list. But yeah, not having ridden it in a bunch of years and just how much I did enjoy White Lightning. Yeah, I had a hard time. That's just made White Lightning win out for me. But Avalanche is a great little thing. It's a great little kick-ass ride. And along those same lines, Hellcat at Clementon could also get a little mention. Another ride that I haven't done in a long time, and one that you never did. Right.
Still haven't gotten to it, no.
Maybe this year we'll
All right.
find our way out there somehow. That's also S&S.
Yeah, those S&S Woodies are really something.
They kind of they did these small scale rides, but they just pack a punch. A lot of fun, but not top 10.
Right.
Not for us anyway.
I also have Legend at Holiday World.
Oh, okay.
It's a CCI. That's a nasty ride.
Yeah.
We've talked about it before in another episode. It's a very long ride. It goes on forever.
Yeah.
And they, I don't know, they really just wanted to give you like a kind of a hellish ride on it. It's very aggressive. And in the end, I couldn't put it on the list because it just doesn't, it doesn't have, it just seems not as thoughtful, I guess, as the other ones that made my list. But it's still a very fun ride. It's my favorite wooden coaster at Holiday World.
It's also my favorite there. I don't know. I did have a little bit of a harder time knocking this off. It would have either would have replaced maybe Shivering Timbers or Cornball Express.
No, you can't do that.
Not that high. It probably would have come in under Phoenix and Boulder Dash, though. It would have been like just a slightly different list, I guess, if it was on there.
All right.
But but the sheer fun I had on both of those outweighed. I didn't have as much fun on Legend, and so in the end, it didn't make the list.
Yeah.
It would have had to kind of dethrone one of those two, I think, and it couldn't, in my mind. It is a cool ride, but probably not awesome. I don't know. It doesn't really quite make that level. It's cool. It does a lot. It is really long. It's almost deceivingly long because you can't see a lot of it. Even from the station, it's wrapped around part of the water park, and it kind of obscures a lot of it. And once you get out there and you're on the course, you can't believe how much more. Like, wow, it's still going.
Yeah,
like, you just keep going, and there's like multiple tunnels, and
yeah, it's like you can't see the ride from within the park or in the station, and you can't see the ride when you're on the ride.
Yeah,
it's obscured by water slides and tunnels and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's an impossible layout to memorize.
It kind of is, and then it does have a couple of nasty helixes that are not banked a lot. So
there's a couple of side-splitting, back-breaking moments in there.
You might get some of those bruised ribs on this one.
Yeah.
But, I don't know, top 10, no, I couldn't do it. Couldn't pull the trigger on that.
Right.
But yeah, very interesting, for both of us to agree not to have a Holiday World Woody on the top 10 anywhere.
Yeah. I just had one more. I want to get your thought on this. Yankee Cannonball. Kenobi Lake Park.
Kenobi?
Tons of airtime.
Yeah.
A lot of airtime.
Oh, yeah.
And no one ever talks about that ride ever.
Yeah, or that park.
Yeah, so I kind of don't get it because this is an old Woody from, when? Like the 40s or something?
No.
It's pretty old.
Is it? 1936.
Oh, 1936. I think Ace has designated it as, a classic. But, I don't know. I guess I'm just a teeny bit surprised that even growing up, even back when I was, really young, I never heard anything about this ride ever. And it seems a little weird. Yeah,
well, like in the in that era when roller coasters were a bit more mainstream.
It was they were mainstream, and Ace had a much bigger presence.
Yeah, okay, on TV, national TV.
Yeah, so it's kind of weird to me that Yankee Cannonball never in there. And I rode in the middle, and and I got a ton of air. And you actually got the back.
Oh my.
So you got the full experience.
Yeah, this is an airtime machine.
So I just want to mention it because no one ever mentions it.
Okay, but not as good as Phoenix.
But right, it was never going to make my top 10. Right. Okay. So that's all I have for honorable mentions.
Are we ready for number ones? No, we're not. We also have we can also mention ones that you might think would make the list, or even a mention but didn't. I guess Voyages is sort of the biggest one. Literally.
Yeah.
The biggest.
That's a big one. We're leaving out in the cold.
And we laid down our thoughts on that.
Oh, yes.
It's out there if you want to hear it.
Yeah, look for the Holiday World episode we did.
I had Boardwalk Bullet.
Oh, Boardwalk Bullet. Gravity Group, right?
Kima Boardwalk in Texas as another one that we have done, and but it just didn't grab either one of us.
No.
It just seemed very ho-hum. It felt very much like it was just trying to be a GCI ride, and it didn't do it it couldn't do GCI as well as GCI does, and so it just kind of came off kind of flat. So that's just, I know those rides do have some fans, but those don't do it for us.
I guess you could throw in Hades, Mount Olympus in that category.
Okay, another gravity group. Yeah, so no gravity group? Did we get any gravity group on here?
Well, I put down Ravine Flyer too.
Okay, so
me.
one between the two of us. Or like half, I guess. If you want to look at it that way.
Very bottom of the list, yeah.
I guess we're not big gravity group fans.
Yeah.
I guess we're just not. I guess what it comes down to. All right, so one more kind of category of interest. Some roller coasters that we have not yet ridden, but that even without having ridden it, but just knowing about it and seeing it, we kind of feel might actually make our top 10. Once we do get on it, might actually shake up our top 10s. So there are a few of those out there. My leading one right now is Outlaw Run at Silver Dollar City.
That's on my list too, yeah.
I kind of feel like that could very easily shake up my top 10.
I think the other big one is Lightning Rod.
Yeah,
So the Rocky Mountain Woodies,
a
couple that we haven't done.
parks.
Yeah.
Those are the ones, really.
One other ride that could shake things up is Gold Striker.
Okay, yeah.
At California
I was thinking the
Great
same
America, a GCI coaster. The only other one I had is Hellcat at Clementon.
Okay.
Because I've never done it, so
that's just sort of personal for you.
yeah, I just don't know about that ride.
I mean, there is the very unique Switchback at that ZDT, whatever the fuck that is, park in Texas. I don't know. That probably won't shake up my top 10, but then again, I don't know.
I don't
it's just
think so.
weird that I don't know. It's like that ride shouldn't exist, but it does. So I don't know. I don't even know if I'll ever get on it, really.
Yeah.
So, but I feel like I had to mention it. Yeah, no, that's really. I don't see much else on here.
Yeah.
Looking real quick.
The only other thing that comes to mind is there are a couple of CCI Woodies at Silverwood that we've never gotten to. And, who knows? It could be another Cornball Express kind of thing.
Tremors,
and there's another one, too. Timber Terror, I think. Something like that. You never know.
All right. Are we ready? Are you finally ready for this?
I think so.
We're going to finally stop teasing this? Are we going to give our number ones?
Sure. All right, so my number one wooden coaster
But I think it's going to be the same.
is El Toro.
Toro!
Yeah.
Wow, we both did it at the same time. All right.
Yeah, all right.
It's El Toro. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, that was easy for me. I mean, it was number one
Yeah.
like the first time I wrote it, and it hasn't changed all these years later.
That says something. Like it hasn't been beaten.
Since like 2006.
And it's been 10 years now. Yeah.
It's just, I know we keep saying this. It's incredible. It's awesome. Fantastic. No, this ride
Kick-ass.
combines unbelievable airtime with all the speed and the quick changes of direction and the fast turns and all that stuff. You get the best of both worlds on this ride. And that's, I guess, why I love it in the end. You get everything all in one package. And it's gigantic. And
Yeah, it's like 180 feet. And
yeah, it's very big. It's almost hyper level. And it's got such a steep drop.
Yeah, wow.
I think you've mentioned this before, where the drop is just, it's always steeper than you remember. It just seems like it keeps going. It feels almost beyond 90.
It gets you every time.
Yeah, those first, whatever it is, 3 hills are just pack so much airtime. It's so fast.
Yeah.
It's a really, really incredible ride.
This is El Toro at Six Flags Great Adventure in New Jersey, a 2006 Intamin Wood. Still to this day, the only Intamin wooden coaster ever built in the United States of America. I think North America, actually. As a whole, I think, right? The rest
I think you're right.
In Europe and Japan and wherever else.
Yeah, funny enough, we both love to shit on Intamin a lot.
Oh, yes, we do.
Yet they made the best wooden coaster that I've ever been on.
It really is like they should have just stopped everything else and just become a wood coaster company after that.
Yeah, they really seem to know what they're doing when it comes to that.
And build more of these. And it's weird. It's like, in some ways, Rocky Mountain construction should not have been able to happen. It seems like if Intamin had played their cards right, they should have just cornered and taken over the wood coaster market from 2006 on.
Yeah.
And I'm still not 100% sure why that hasn't happened.
Yeah, because even still, even to this day, El Toro gets a ton of praise. But no one orders an Intamin Wood. I don't understand it.
That's done the golden ticket thing. It's been there.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. No one wants to buy an Intamin Wood. I don't know why. It's not like El Toro really has had... It's had its fair share of problems. Maybe a little more than its fair share of problems, but not a ton. It's not like lightning rod problems.
No, and I think that's just Intamin.
And yeah, sure.
If you buy an Intamin ride, period, you're going to have some issues.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, you're right.
That's just where it's at. But that doesn't stop people from buying Intamin rides.
Yeah.
But yet, no one's doing Intamin Woods, so... And
it's got stadium seating in the trains, which is pretty neat. The restraints, for some people, for a good number of people, for more people than there should be, they're not going to fit on this ride. And that's a shame. That's just bad design by Intamin for being so restrictive. Being a little too restrictive, I think.
But Rocky Mountain sort of is like that, too.
Are they really? Were they that restrictive?
They got more restrictive after...
after Texas Giant?
After certain events, yes.
All right. Yeah. That wasn't their trains, though.
Our very first episode, by the way.
Yeah.
That was the topic.
That was Gershauer trains. That wasn't even their fault.
I guess not. But I don't think their other trains are any more roomy.
Yeah. All right. That's a good point. But, I don't know. El Toro. What can you say?
Olay! Right?
Was it your favorite when it debuted, or did it take you a while to get to that?
No, pretty much. Like that after that first season.
Yeah.
Of 2006, where I got it. Yeah, it did. It kind of hands down blew away the competition, the wood coaster competition.
So, hope there were a couple surprises in there for you.
Well, I mean, were we going to even try to hash it out and come up with a consolidated one, or no?
We could try. Well, we know what number 1 is.
We agree on number 1 and 3.
Right, number 1 and 3. Actually, I mean, most of them are the same. It's just
2 are already
it's just a number
set.
ranking. What was the big one? It's Twister for you and Ravine Flyer for me. But I'm fine with dropping Ravine Flyer because that was my number 10.
Because I was so far down.
Yeah.
Boulder Dash was the biggest disparity. It's number 9 for me.
Yeah, it was number 5 for me. But I can concede to that argument that, because it needs to be night for it to be good, that, how can you rank it really any higher than 9 or 8 or something,
Okay. And then we both had Thunderhead, Shivering Timbers, Goliath, Cornball Express, and Phoenix.
Yeah.
So...
Actually, I thought our lists were going to be more different than this.
Really?
I'm surprised that not only were they so similar just in terms of the ride selection, but even where we placed things.
Okay.
We were both kind of just one number off from each other for a lot of them.
For the most part, yeah.
And I wasn't expecting that at all.
This is an interesting exercise. Yeah, we didn't plan this.
So
we really do have more similar opinions than we maybe realize sometimes.
I thought you were going to have Beast.
Yeah, no, Beast, no.
And I was curious just to see if... Because you've ridden a couple of rides that I haven't, like that Kentucky Rumbler, or, I was curious to see if any of those other rides were going to make the list.
Hellcat.
Yeah.
But, no. No.
Okay.
So I guess our combined list is sort of... It's like Twister would have to be lower. Like you would concede Ravine Flyer 2 for Twister, but Twister couldn't be number 2 then. It's like it would be El Toro number 1, Apocalypse would have to move up to number 2 probably.
Okay. Thunderhead 3.
Then Thunderhead maybe 3.
And then Twister?
If even, or maybe Shivering Timbers next, and then Twister.
And then Twister.
Like
so Twister makes top 5?
Yeah, but like it'd be a lot lower.
Boulder Dash
if we're
drops.
Combining our 2.
Yeah.
Boulder Dash would be 6. Like I have to bring it up to kind of balance with you.
No, you can bring it down lower.
You sure?
Yeah,
I mean, I would.
Bring it down to 7 or 8, yeah.
Oh, you want to keep Goliath at 6?
Yeah.
And then Boulder Dash is like 7?
And then where's Phoenix?
And then, do you like Phoenix better than Cornball?
I do, yeah.
And then maybe Phoenix is 8, Cornball's 9, and White Lightning is 10?
Yeah, I'm good with
Something
that.
all right, so there you go.
We figured it out. So what was it again?
That's the thanks for... Oh, shit. I don't know. Play it back. I don't know. Trim back the reels.
You said White Lightning 10, Cornball 9?
Yeah. Phoenix was 8.
7.
Boulder Dash was 7.
Okay.
Goliath is 6.
5 is Twister.
Yeah.
4 is Shivering?
Yeah.
3 is
Thunderhead. 2 is Apocalypse the Ride. And then number 1, El Toro.
Okay.
So that's the combined consensus. Thanks for writing top 10 wooden coasters, at least as of early 2017.
So there you go. So we want to see your top 10 list.
Send us a top 10 list. You know our email. It's thanks for writing at yahoo.com.
Or post a comment on YouTube, post a comment on the website.
Sure.
Whatever you want to do on Facebook. And,
Facebook?
If top 10 is...
Still have that in 2017?
Yeah, we still got it. If top 10 is, I don't know, maybe it's a bit much, do top 5. Do whatever, top number you feel like.
Do top 15 if it's...
Or even just number 1. What's your number 1 favorite? We want to hear. We want to see what you guys out there think. And, maybe we'll do a follow-up episode and get a consensus on this.
And we'll shit on all your opinions. No? Oh, I'm sorry. I wasn't supposed to say that. No. We'll go through it. I mean, wood coasters, there's not a ton out there.
There's not a ton. A lot of them are really pretty damn bad. So I think there isn't the biggest selection.
But maybe
I guess that's why our lists were so similar.
Maybe you like them bad, so let us know that. We can talk about it.
I like my wood coasters bad.
Try to convince us.
So now that we did our top 10 Woodies, I know what you're thinking. Where's the top 10 steel?
Oh.
I don't know. We don't really have any plans for that. Maybe we'll do it. Maybe we won't. I don't know.
Problem with that is you need to kind of whittle it down more.
That's going to be really,
it really has to
hard.
be like hypers separate from inverts, separate from loopers.
Actually, yeah, that's the way to do it. Yeah, you have to do it by category, and then from there, kind of take your number 1s and 2s and see how they fit in, maybe.
Maybe do top 5 of the 3 categories and then come up with a top 15
Yeah,
overall.
you got to do something like that.
All right, so that's something we'll work on.
Yeah.
If you care. I mean, let us know if you care. I mean, I have a feeling a couple of you will care, and that's it.
No, this was fun. I had a good time doing this.
Yeah, this was a lot of fun. This is interesting. Yeah, so I thought it would be fun going in, and it was.
Doing a top 10 worst Woody coaster or something would just be too hard. I'm not even going to bother with that.
In a way, that would be, yeah. Oh, why, we're just trying to cut people off at the pass? Like, don't bother giving us that suggestion.
Yeah, kind of, because...
For the few people that do enjoy listening to us, we know you probably do kind of like negative talk, because we do a lot of that. Or at least back from the very beginning of our show, we've done a lot of that. But yet, like, yeah, I don't know if we're really interested in that. For this kind of thing.
The problem is there are just too many bad ones, and...
They all blend together.
How do you rank them? Yeah. Because all the bad ones, we've done, like, once. Because they were bad.
Yeah. Well, no, but I think Great American Scream Machine at Over Georgia, I think that might be my number 1.
It could be. Yeah, it really could be.
Just get that out right now as part of the end of this episode. I mean, that's... because that one, I think, literally hurt me.
Yeah.
Like, I actually got hurt on that ride. So, that might be my least favorite.
All right, we're saying it. We're calling it right here.
No, we're agreeing it. Yeah,
Great American Scream
agreeing on
Machine at Six Flags Over Georgia.
The most shit wood coaster.
That was... Who did that? Is that Alan?
Alan? He got that bad at the end? 1973. PTC. Philadelphia Toboggan Coasters. No. Oh, wow. This is attributed to designers Don Rosser, William Cobb, and John C. Allen.
Oh, wow.
Is this a collaboration between Rosser, Cobb, and Allen? And they came out with the most biggest piece of shit that of a wooden coaster that still operates today.
That's amazing. It was like these like 3 I will call them legendary coaster designers.
Well, Rosser Cobb, I mean...
But I mean, they go way back, you know.
They do.
And they
a
did a bunch of rides.
Okay.
And it's like, yeah, and then John Allen is another huge guy, and like...
Well, he's huge.
They actually came together to make, like, the worst ride ever. That's hilarious.
It's like it should have been a super group, but...
Well, that's what happens when supergroups get together. They don't really make good music.
Generally, no. Yeah, you're right.
So it makes perfect sense.
Yeah, that's that's pretty good, though. Oh, wow.
It's almost like Captain EO or something, where you had these powerhouses coming together.
Oh, yeah.
You know, Captain EO was like Francis Ford Coppola, Michael Jackson, and George Lucas. And
it should have been great,
it's like,
but it turned out to a piece of shit.
It's like really goofy and like not even close to being the best 3D/4D movie.
Yeah, or just best, or a great short even. Just
yeah.
On its own. It's like
it's just a weird
just sucks.
thing. It's like not that
sucks.
great. Yeah.
If anything, it's so bad it's good, but it's not good.
Yeah.
That's really funny. I'm glad we looked that up.
Yeah. So congratulations to Six Flags Over Georgia for having the worst wooden coaster collection on Earth.
Yes.
Or at least in North America.
Sure. And congratulations to our very own Six Flags Great Adventure for having the undisputed number one wood coaster, according to this show, again, at least in North America.
Well, they have the best wooden coaster collection out there, right?
the one.
Because they have El Toro.
And they tore down Rolling Thunder.
And they tore down Rolling Thunder, so it improved their standing.
Yes, it did. It made it a better wood coaster collection. It really did.
Thanks for riding.
Our Chap 10 Woodies.